Yo, yo, what's up, everybody? Episode 8 of the New York Yankee Dad podcast. My name's Russ. We're going to go right into it. We're going to talk about Hal Steinbrenner's interview with Meredith Marakovits from last night. And if you're listening to this tomorrow, I'm still recording it. It's Wednesday, January 29th for about, six minutes or so as I'm recording. And just wanted to wish happy birthday to my mom. Nana, just happy birthday to Nana. One of the big reasons why I'm a Yankee fan is because of her, believe it or not. And you see her commenting on posts. She watches every game just like we do, and definitely has an opinion. And sometimes I even use some of her takes and take them as my own. But happy birthday to Nana. We love you, and you know, she'll even tell you to go Yankees. Yankees are definitely like a part of our family, and definitely big reason why I'm part of the reason I am, the way I am today is because of my mom. So happy birthday, Ma. And we're gonna talk about Hal Steinbrenner, his comments with Meredith Marakovits from yesterday on Hot Stove. And if you didn't see my video, we'll touch a little bit on Booney's comments. So he was on WFAN, Brandon Tierney and Sal Licata's show. And today's episode of the New York Yankee Dad podcast is brought to you by none other than your Bronx dentist. Come meet Dr. Rebbe and his team at two convenient locations in the Throgs Neck and Norwood sections of the Bronx. Schedule your next appointment online at yourbronxdentist.com. If you haven't had a cleaning, something you probably should do. Take care of your teeth. They're very, very important. And so schedule your appointment at your Bronx dentist, now. If that's something you're looking for. Definitely a great team over there. And just like the New York Yankees, a great team in the American League. Um, and any way you want to look at it, the Yankees will be, raising that American League pennant, something that hasn't, been waiting a long time for, but it's still unfinished business, just like Hal says that, players have a chip on their shoulder. So Hal things that he was saying was Hal believes the Yanks are a better team now than they were a year ago. And yeah, the Yankees are, you know, I would even say a better team now. How much of a better team, we'll find out when the season starts. But now on paper, we've heard about it, the two former National League MVPs. Now with Cody Bellinger, he has the ability to be an MVP candidate. He's a great, great player. He's getting in his game's a little bit different now. We saw, Hal talked about how Judge was a big, big part of bringing Cody Bellinger into the Yankees. And if you listen to me, we talked about how for a long time, I remember back in the day when Clay was on the team, they showed, and young Cody. There was times he had tryouts. I remember that he had a tryout with the Yankees. They talked about this was many, many years ago, but he never really came. Nothing ever came from it, and you always knew that Clay's son was good, and Cody was a National League MVP. Now, I even had him on my fantasy teams for a long time. Um, been following Cody Bellinger for a while. As we know, he's fit perfectly for Yankee Stadium, but he does have, you know, that argument similar to the Blake Snell argument where no, he's so good. He has the ability to be an MVP, and then those down years. So what Cody Bellinger are we going to be getting? Hopefully, it's good Cody Bellinger. Now he's tailor made for Yankee Stadium. His athleticism, goes with along with what Hal says that in the field, Cody Bellinger makes them a much better team. He has the ability, you know, Gold Glove center field. You can move him to left if need be. You can move him to right, and he can play, a really, really nice first base if you need him to. And Paul Goldschmidt, one of the actually the only the only first baseman to have 30 stolen base season. Now, Paul Goldschmidt's 37 years old. We're not looking for Paul Goldschmidt to steal 30 bases, but he, did it once before, and the only first baseman in history to have 30 stolen bags. And Paul Goldschmidt's going to bring, a different type of leadership to, leadership to the Yankees, similar similar to what, like the veteran leadership that, like even DJ LeMayu has, and Cody Bellinger himself. But that pedigree that they kept drilling it to us. You heard it a few times, and if you didn't watch Hot Stove last night, a few times they definitely reminded us that Paul Goldschmidt and Cody Bellinger were former National League MVPs. And Devin Williams coming in, another all-star closer. Yeah, it's for 1 year, but Devin Williams is one of the best you can get at the back end. And even Hal was talking about how the back end of the bullpen is very, very good, as we know, with Weaver, Devin Williams, Ian Hamilton, and still waiting for that left-handed reliever. We don't have that yet on the 40-man roster. There's been rumors, but still no left-handed reliever. And there was a few transactions that happened today. We'll get to those at the end. And one was a former Yankee, but back back on track here with like we usually tend to do, and just get back on track with Hal. um the comments that during his interview with Meredith. So with we ended off with Bellinger and Goldschmidt, brought in Devin Williams. So still have the major questions. We still have the questions of third base. Now Hal mentioned Oswaldo Cabrera, Jorbit Vivas, and Oswald Peraza. And now Booney on Sal Licata and Brandon Tierney's show, Booney was saying how it could be Cabrera, LeMayu, and Peraza. He hinted about maybe a lefty righty platoon. He didn't really get into it. He kind of caught himself and kind of backtracked on that. But I did kind of catch that. Could we see the platoon at third base? What's it going to be now? Even Mr. Steinbrenner was saying how Cabrera, Oswaldo has had a bench role the past few seasons, so he's going to be could be stepping up into a much larger role. And just like a lot of the minor leaguers, as they have been doing for the past few years, is when the guys are ready down on the farm, the Yankees, as Mr. Steinbrenner Hal was saying, they're not afraid to call those young guys up. So we will see. Now, he didn't mention Spencer Jones. Does that mean Spencer Jones? He said, if there's injuries, the situation arises itself. Let's see what happens. So, will they call up most of their top prospects when they're ready, as they usually do? Yes. So, a lot of the information that was told with kind of things we didn't, kind of things we knew already, but they did talk about Oswaldo, the third base situation. I point out Oswaldo because both in the Hal Steinbrenner with Meredith interview and Booney on WFAN, they both mentioned Oswaldo. And the third base second situation is definitely the big elephant in the room for the Yanks. But Mr. Steinbrenner talked about how the addition of Max Fried, and I did not mention his name earlier of the additions, but Max Fried, we have two aces on the team. It's Garrett 1A, Max Fried 1B coming at you from the left side. And it's even funny, baseball's a game of numbers. Just something that I find very interesting, and doesn't really mean nothing, but to me it just one of the things that I see. Garrett Cole's a right-hander. He wears number 45. Max Fried is a left-hander. He'll be coming at you with number 54. So it's very interesting how, to me, that just the numbers game. And two very, very intelligent intelligent pitches. Max Fried is going to bring a real different element to this pitching staff that already was great. A real wonderful pitching staff. The Yankees, I'm really putting together here. Now, let's be real. Um, I don't want to come across. Oh, sometimes it can come across that I say everything's wonderful. It's not. Everything's not wonderful. But Max Fried, it's going to be with the defense, the improvement of the defense compared to last season with Cody Bellinger. We were informed that Jason Dominguez will be in left field. Aaron Judge will be in right. You got Goldie, Paul Goldschmidt. Is it going to be Jazz at second? We think so. The Gold Glove caliber shortstop, Anthony Volpe, will be man in short. Third base, could it be DJ LeMayu? Could it be DJ? Now, DJ, there's been the rumors swirling around. You might have saw, from Hubs, one of the Barstool guys. He shared it, and I shared it to my story. It was on X saying how last year when Dominguez was getting called up, and they were going to call Dominguez up, DJ was going to be DFA'd, and Judge and a few of the other veterans weren't happy about that and didn't think he deserved it. Now, DJ has done a lot of great things, but he hasn't really been that type of player since like the COVID season in 2020, and even after that, the injuries. It's just he hasn't really been the same player in the past 2 seasons with the foot injury. It's just you know it would be wonderful to see DJ come to spring training, come to camp once games start, and knocking the cover off the ball. But this is it's spring training. I mean, it's a lot different than the regular games. But I don't want to knock DJ, but to me it seems like they're giving DJ a little more. They're delaying the inevitable, if you want to say. And it would have been nice if they did that to a few of other Yankees, and some of them were real legends. But let's just see what DJ can still bring to the table. We know what kind of hitter he can be. It's just been it feels like it's been a long time since he was that type of player. But to get back with Max Fried and just the talent that he has, and the great presence he's going to bring to the clubhouse. He's a lefty who knows how to win. He's a champ with the Braves. He, big contributor to that postseason run, that World Series run, and you know, just like Joel Sherman said, he reminds me a lot like Jimmy Key when the Yankees acquired Jimmy Key back in 1995. It was just one of those acquisitions that Freed has the ability to blow it by you, but he's one of those. He's a pitcher. He's not really, a thrower. He's a pitcher, and you guys are going to see that with the sinker and the curveball. It's just what a what a talent. Just like any team, he's had his fair share of injuries, but a lot of players deal with injuries, and that just goes for any ball club. Just wants health to the lineup, health to the roster, because without the guys being healthy, they can't perform because you're going to the farm. So but with the improved defense here, Max Fried, his game, really help his game. And the Yankees needed to improve the defense because he's kind of one of those pitchers who he's a big time run preventer and uses his fielders. You're gonna need guys to make the plays, not like some of the instances we saw last year. How Mr. Steinbrenner also talked about Luis Heel, our rookie, the rookie of the year, and he was just masterful last season. He had the 17 games with one run or less, and we saw his stuff. And just Hal was saying how Meredith mentioned how he just came out of nowhere, and without the Garrett Cole injury, we might not even seen Luis Hill last year. Which in spring, um, Mr. Steinbrenner talked about how last spring how Heel just his stuff just put everyone on notice, and how he was just masterful, and we saw how he was this season, and this year we'll just see him unleash a little more. They talked about how they're very, very proud of Austin Wells. He had a fine, fine season, for a rookie catcher. No one really knew the scouting reports all said Austin Wells was going to struggle defensively, and I went, me and the family, my wife and kids, we went, to a Somerset game when he was still there. Um, it was the game Carlos Rodon was pitching on his rehab assignment, and in 20 this was back in 23, summer of 23, and Wells was DH in that game, but as you've heard me say before, he was by far the best hitter on the field, and Jackson Holiday was actually there for Norfolk that game. It was a lot of fun. But Luis Heel, Austin Wells, and looking for a big year out of Austin Wells this year. He had his little slump throughout the summer last year. The playoffs weren't that great to him. Wasn't that great to a lot of the players on the Yanks. But looking for big things from Austin Wells next year, and especially from Luis Heel. Talked about the third base situation, and just I know my apologies for tonight. I getting home from work wasn't really set up for the video portion. I wanted to record, get this really wanted to talk about Hal's comments, and I'm actually really jumping around, but just didn't go with video, this week. So my apologies to everyone out there who watches on video on YouTube. But the still be up will be up on Apple, Spotify, and anywhere you get your podcasts. But just my apologies for that. And so with back to back to Hal, we'll give a little rundown. So basically, from my notes, he was talking about how they were a better team than last year, which, with all the improvements to the roster that we've seen, yes, they're going to be a much, much better team. They should be a much better team defensively. And, even Hal said that defensively. Just the one thing I took out of, the better that they're a better team than last year is they improved the defense, they improved some athleticism, but to say, because Hal did say this, that Bellinger and Goldschmidt are going to make up for the lost offense of Soto. Now, it's I'm going to give just my opinion here. Juan Soto is a generational talent. We've saw the difference in the lineup of what the difference that he made in the Yankee lineup last season. Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt are fine, fine players. You can't say these two guys are going to replace him. Now, their games is so different. Now, let's be real here. Soto, comparing him to Bellinger and Goldie, he can't touch them defensively. I mean, we know what he can do offensively. And that's one of the main concerns here with the Yankees now this year going into the 2025 season is the offense. I mean, you have some free agents still available out there. Um, whether the Yankees are going to sign them or not, we don't know. We've been waiting. Hasn't really been any moves, for the Yankees. You've seen articles and reports from Joel Sherman of the Post saying how the Yankees are in a holding period. Marcus Stroman, is he going to be traded or not? It's like, we're beating the same drum here, saying the same thing for weeks. Are the Yankees really waiting for a Marcus Stroman trade? Now, that gets into what we heard from Jeff Passan on the Michael K show. If you haven't heard that, the Yankees, Hal's kind of coming across it's of that, the Yankees can't be making deals. Now here is the exact quote. I have it written down here. So this was Hal on the Los Angeles Dodgers spending. It's difficult for most of us owners to be able to do the kinds of things they're doing. Now, we'll see if it pays off. They still have to play a season relatively injury free for it to work out for them. That goes, like we were saying, that goes for any team, injury free. Now, how the one thing I took from that is we don't want to hear no excuse of how, no one, maybe other teams can't do what the Dodgers are doing, but we went so many years, and just going back, I remember from just from the days of the early to mid 2000s, the Yankees were the team that spent the most money, the team that made the most revenue, and the team like the Dodgers now. Back then they didn't, they weren't even anywhere near the top teams for payroll and all that stuff back then. But things are different now. They're owned by a different ownership group, and it's kind of run like a hedge fund, if you ask me. But we don't want to hear Yankee fans don't want to hear that the Yankees can't keep up with the Dodgers. Now, some people want to see, a majority of the fan base doesn't want to hear the name DJ LeMahieu for starting third base spot. Some of us, including myself, are really rooting for Oswaldo, but the name out there, Alex Bregman, one of our arch nemesis, is out that's still available out there, and we all know if they added Alex Bregman, what kind of impact he would bring to the team. And talk about getting better offensively. Just someone who's won before, whether you want to say it was legit or not. Alex Bregman is one of those players that's just an agitator, does everything right. It seems like he does everything right in the field, and just he would make this team so much better. But then on the other hand, I want to see Oswaldo do good, and then the nightmare scenario for everyone of DJ LeMahieu being named the starter. But as Hal was even saying that they're not done, they're not done with adding. Could they make moves today, tomorrow? They'll be making moves up until spring training, up until opening day, up until the trade deadline. The Yankees always look to improve the roster. It's just, with the way the offseason planned out, we all saw Soto. Yeah, Soto left. And then, the Yankees answered right back with Max Fried. They made all, the trade for Devin. They traded Nestor and Durbin for Devin Williams. It was just a flurry of moves. And then all of a sudden it kind of died down a little bit. And then, it came to what, oh, are the Yankees waiting for this to happen, that to happen? But a majority, and the big thing from this interview was, you don't really want to hear the Yankees crying poverty. You see they make the amount of money that the Yankees bring in through revenue. But it's easy for us to say to spend someone else's money. But how coming off an American League championship for the first time in a long time. It was 15 years for the first time since 2009. You want to see them go like the old days, not so much of the old days where the owner was making moves while the GM was making moves, but that's completely different story. I'm going back to when Brian Cashman had a deal in place for Vladimir Guerrero Sr. and Hal's father, George Steinbrenner, had a deal in place with the shadow front office for Gary Sheffield. So different, not like the old days where kind of turmoil in that sense. But just a lot of people are hard on Hal. You know, a lot of people are hard, very hard on Hal. He's not his father. He's very different. George, you want him to be like his dad. You want him to be like his dad, but George wasn't perfect either. A lot of people, we don't want to see Hal getting suspended, kind of thrown out of that did happen. There was a time where George wasn't allowed, to be around the team. He was suspended because of his the whole little thing he had going on. It wasn't really a little thing, but the whole thing going on with Dave Winfield. So, for Hal to be different, he's kind of I'm getting way off. We went way off topic. It's late, but I do want to get my point across here. A lot of people are hard on Hal. He's not, I don't want to say he's not the baseball man like George, because you can really see that he knows the game. You can see that he knows the game. It's not like we're very lucky to have Hal as one of our owners. The Yankees are willing to spend, but not willing to spend like the Dodgers, I guess. But you see the payroll; they're the third highest payroll. The third highest spenders. Now, it's just weird seeing the Yankees in a world where they're not the number one team. Blowing the contracts out of the water. But is that really a good thing? And it takes me back to Hal saying that needs to, they need to have a clean, they basically need to have a clean, injury-free, season for it to work. But so do the Yankees. The Yankees need to have an injury-free season for it to work out, because in 2003, when he was talking, the tale of the two seasons, 2023, there was a lot of injuries and the Yankees missed the playoffs. Now, one of my main concerns now is, if guys, God forbid, players getting hurt, where's the depth? Where's the depth to pick it up? What is it? What is it going to be? And, he said, they have no problem calling guys up, but if you follow the 40-man roster, there's 39 of the 40 roster spots are filled. So there's, still one up in the air, and that could be used for, one of the other guys in the minors who aren't on the 40-man roster to be added to that. But they still need to add that lefty. They still need to add that left-hander to the bullpen, that we don't have. And just the reason I bring up the left-hander again. Now, there was a few signings today. Now, a few of the signings and moves today. Tommy Kahnle signed with the Detroit Tigers for 7.75 million. Another target that we heard the Yankees were linked to. Now, he's not going to be able to start his season till May because of the shoulder surgery. But that's Hassan Kim, formerly of the Padres, now of the Tampa Bay Rays. He signed a 2-year, $29 million contract. The Cincinnati Reds traded for left-hander Taylor Rogers, and Carlos Estevez signed with the Kansas City Royals. So, a few of those names were people, the Yankees, or a few of those names were players the Yankees had interest in. But just with the loss of Tommy Kahnle. So Tommy Kahnle, to me, kind of goes hand in hand to not having any left-handed relievers in the bullpen, because Kahnle was one of those right-handers that was able to get left-handers out. And the Yankees, now Tommy Kahnle is definitely off the board. He'll be with the Detroit Tigers, joining Glaber. And you know, just to finish off with what Mr. Steinbrenner was talking about in his interview with Meredith. Better team is a better team than last year. He did mention one thing I saw. One thing I heard. Soto's large family had lots to talk in his ear. So and he mentioned how he met, Max Fried's family. It's just very interesting to me, the whole Soto saga, we can say at this stage, is that, still no no player reached out to him from the World Series to throughout the meetings. Just very odd to me that maybe, is there anything to it? We don't know. Well, we might never find out. The narrative that was kept being pushed was, the former NL MVPs. Now, hopefully we get good Cody Bellinger. Hopefully Paul Goldschmidt. They keep saying he has a lot left in the tank. Let's hope so. Because we are gonna need that production from first base. Anthony Rizzo, the production wasn't really there. Ben Rice had that three home run game when he had his shots, to play first. The production wasn't really there. Bringing in the bringing on of Max Fried, gonna really make a big difference for the starting rotation. The Yankees have one of the best starting rotations. Luis Heel, Austin Wells, more rookies on the come up. Could we see more rookies on the come up? Who's gonna play third? Is it gonna be Oswaldo? Is it gonna be DJ? Is Oswald Peraza? What's going to happen with him? As we've talked about in previous episodes, he has no more options left. We know Dominguez is going to be in left. The majority is going to be Cody Bellinger in center, Aaron Judge back to right, and the Dodgers. It was the Dodgers are in a league of their own. One interesting thing that I want to close. We'll close off with this, because it's just been me rambling all over. So hopefully we're able to keep track of my rambling all over. But the two one thing that really stuck out to me. Now, I didn't really look into what the teams are actually spending into this, but since Hal talked about it, it was one of the last things they showcased on the episode with the interview. Was they talked about the renovations to Tampa, Georgia, and Steinbrenner Field down there at the spring training complex, and how it was long overdue. And last year they had renovations at the stadium up here in the Bronx to the clubhouse, and Dodgers, the Los Angeles Dodgers also having big renovations to Dodger Stadium this year. Building new box seats, and down on the field level. Um, does the Yankees updates to the spring training complex, does that have any reflection on the payroll? That's the only question I have, because the Yankees, there was that big hefty offer out to Juan Soto, pretty much almost matching with the Mets. Mets offered in the $760 million range, and we didn't see them spending $760 million this offseason, but they were willing to do so. And does that have any ramifications on why the Yankees aren't, going after, you don't hear them going after anyone like, Alex Bregman, why they weren't in the Pete Alonso market, for free agents. It's a, that would be one of my fan questions, because does the budget for all the renovations, does that have anything to do with the budget for adding on-field talent? We want the Yankees to return back to form in the old days, build a new dynasty. Now, let's be real, that's what we all want. We want the Yankees to come back, return to form, and not lose the World Series in embarrassing fashion like they did. Just we all know what changes have to be made. It's pretty much the same coaching staff coming back. Just the games, they got to play the games. They got to play the games. Hope everyone got to stay healthy, but it just doesn't feel, from the beginning of the offseason with the moves that were being made, And then it was like, wait, they're not done. We're not done. But what's next? We've been waiting, waiting for the next move for a while. And with Stroman unfollowing the Yankees on Instagram. And again, I don't know what that really means. Um, you know, but we'll find out, I guess. We will find out. So that's episode 8. Thank you again for, listen to me ramble, and my apologies for the no video this week, but that's episode 8. I'll talk to you guys. Have a great night. God bless. And as always, go Yankees.